It's a super snowy day today, but you know what we're gonna do to make it a little bit more cheery? We're gonna go on inside and make spring DIYs. Let's get started. For this project, we're going to use 2 of the metal wreath forms from Dollar Tree. We're using the circles today, and we're going to need 12 plastic eggs. Mine came from the Dollar Tree. They come 6 to a pack, so you're going to need 2 packs. We're going to lay 2 eggs in each of the sections of the wreath form. Then I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of hot glue to keep the egg stable when I want to put the other wreath form on top. Now I tried 2 different ways here. One was to put hot glue on the wreath, and then one was to put hot glue on the egg. I found that putting the hot glue on the wreath itself worked better just because you can't line up the egg very well to put the glue on, and I did have to go back and fix that blue egg. So once I get all of the eggs glued onto the wreath frame, I'm going to take some zip ties and I'm going to be zip tying them in the connection pieces. So there are 6 connection pieces on this wreath, so we're going to add 6 zip ties. And I'm zip tying it kind of close to the edge here because I don't really want it to show, so that's why I'm also using black zip ties. But all I'm going to do is secure it very tightly. I'm going to go ahead and add all 6 zip ties around the wreath and then cut them off. Once I have all the zip ties cut off, I'm going to add some Spanish moss into the sections between the eggs. So I start out doing just like the middle sections, and then I go back around and I add more Spanish moss at the top and the bottom of the eggs where I feel like it's needed. Because once you start going around the whole wreath, it starts to fill in and you can see like where you have some gaps. I thought that this might be a little like tricky, like it was going to fall through the other side of the wreath, but it doesn't, and it looks super cute. You could probably add the Spanish moss before you put the other wreath form on, but I found this to be like pretty easy. So I have this Dollar Tree sign and I decided to attach it with some zip ties. So I'm just going to put a zip tie through each of the holes at the top of the sign. You won't be able to see the holes since I used it that way to attach it. It does leave me a bit of a gap at the bottom, and so I go ahead and kind of pull that down a little bit. I decided to cover that gap up with some extra Spanish moss. So I add some of the Spanish moss in the front of our bunny's face, and then I flip the wreath over and I'm going to add some Spanish moss to the back of our bunny's head, and then that is it for this project. It's so adorable. I could think of all kinds of ways that you could use this wreath, and if you didn't want to add the bunny or any kind of sign in the middle, you could definitely just leave it with the Spanish moss and eggs, and it's still a really fun farmhouse look. Let me know what you guys think about this project. It's definitely one of my favorites of the day. So for this project, we're going to start with some clothespins from the Dollar Tree, and we're going to be creating this shape. So to do that, we're going to take the metal piece out of our clothespin. We're going to take the wooden pieces and use the flat sides. We're going to use some hot glue and just glue them together. It makes this really fun shape that you can make into several different projects, but for today, we're going to be creating carrots. They have been covered with some brown stain, which was just brown acrylic paint and water that I painted on there. Now I'm using some burnt orange paint. This is just acrylic paint, and I'm going to go ahead and paint all of the clothespins with our burnt orange color. Then I took some white chalk paint and I'm just going to dry brush over all the carrots to give it a more farmhouse look. If you don't want to have this dark of a carrot, you could definitely do any color orange. My other orange chalk paint was all dried out and I had to throw it away, so this was the orange I had on hand. Once I get those all painted, I'm going to take this pot that also came from the Dollar Tree. I covered it with white paint and some antique Waverly wax several years ago for a previous project. I just have these all over my house for spring. It's a really fun way to like just create something that you can use over and over again. But we're going to add some floral foam into the bottom, and then we're using some Spanish moss. Mine came from Hobby Lobby, but they do sell it in the springtime at the Dollar Tree. So then I'm going to take this farmhouse ribbon, also from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to cut a small little piece of it, and then I'm going to be using this lime green ribbon. I believe it came from Hobby Lobby. I've had it in my stash for quite a while, but I definitely think you could find that color there. I'm going to fold it over a little bit to kind of give it a topper for my carrot. I'm just using hot glue here Once I get it together in the farmhouse ribbon, I'm going to glue that to the green ribbon. Then we're going to take this bundle and we're going to glue it to our carrot. So I originally tried to glue it to the top of the carrot, but I didn't like how that looked, so I then end up moving it to the back of the carrot. Once I have the two pieces of ribbon on there, then I just cut down the middle to add some little pieces so they look like the tops of the carrot. I think this turned out so adorable. Once I have them all glued on and cut out, I'm going to add them to our little pot here to look like they are planted carrots. And then that is it for this project. It's super simple. It would be really cute on a tiered tray or just kind of sitting on a shelf like next to a picture frame or something. But let me know what you guys think about these.
Everything I've seen, the friends I've made, and then you tell me how you've been. Look a little closer, it's been quite some time.
For this project, we're going to start out with another terracotta pot, and we're going to cover it white. I didn't do any dry brushing to this one. Then I added some floral foam in the bottom. I'm using this bunny that I painted last video, so if you didn't see that video, it'll be linked at the end of this video. But I covered a glitter bunny from the Dollar Tree with some white chalk paint, and then I'm using this craft stick. I believe these came from Hobby Lobby during the Christmas time, but you can definitely use any piece of wood here or a dowel if you wanted to cut it down. I add some hot glue to the top of the bunny, and then I stick the dowel into our floral foam. I'm going to add some Spanish moss here at the bottom, and we're making a topiary. If you didn't see where I was going with that yet, you could use any bunny here, so if you don't have the foam bunnies, I was thinking a wooden bunny would look super cute as well. Then I took some more of that farmhouse ribbon and some purple ribbon this time, same type of ribbon I used in the carrots. You can also pick this up at Hobby Lobby. I'm making an awareness bow here, and I made it like a two-toned awareness bow. So the farmhouse ribbon is what's really going to show, and then you're going to be able to see just a little bit of the accented purple. I chose purple for this project just because the bunny is also purple. Let me know what is your favorite spring color down in the comments. Mine is usually pink, but I didn't even use any pink in this video. So I'm going to go ahead and glue my ribbon onto the front of my pot. And then with these awareness ribbons, I always find like you want to put something in the middle or it doesn't really feel finished. So I'm using just a cream button that kind of accented the ribbon and the pot. And then that is it for this project. It's super simple, super cute. I think it would add a lot of fun touches to a tiered tray.
To put it all straight before this night turns into day, and then I'm on my way.
For this project, we're going to be using one of the Dollar Tree canvases. I'm going to cover it with some brown acrylic paint, and then I'm going to cover that with some white chalk paint. Now, I have seen these moss bunnies all the time on Pinterest, and I have always wanted to make one. I tried to trace the bunny onto our canvas and then like put the moss on the canvas, but I found that you could not tell that it was a bunny. So I took that off and I decided to try the 2.0 version here. So I had a wooden bunny. This also came from the Dollar Tree. It's one of those ornaments that you can get during the seasonal time. I glued all my moss on top of the bunny, and now I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to use some scissors and I'm going to give it a haircut. So this actually turned out really cute. I think maybe a little bit bigger of a bunny piece I would have liked on this project, but like I said, this was kind of my first attempt at one of these, but I just go ahead and give him a haircut all around the wooden pieces. Some of the moss did come off like on his ears, and so I went back and added a little bit more and then just gave it a little bit more of a haircut. Super simple. Once I get it all cut, then I'm going to go ahead and add it back to my canvas. So you can see that I have some greenery still on my canvas, and that's okay. I'm just going to glue right over it. I'm adding hot glue in my bunny shape because I had already traced it on there, and then I'm going to glue my moss covered bunny on top of that, and then that is it for this project. It's super simple, but it adds such a fun spring look. You could also do some different colors in the background.
Yes, I'm on my way. A bit naive and so eager to please. You know I played for love, but it got me on my knees.
For this project, we're going to use a cutting board sign. These are the ones that you would find in the sign department, not the kitchen department, but we covered it with some white Waverly chalk paint. I had used this in a previous project, and so I had already removed the front of the sign. Then I'm going to add some burlap down at the bottom, and I'm just going to hot glue it around the back. You could go the whole length of the back if you wanted to make it look a little bit more finished, but we're making a pocket here, so when we flip it over, we're going to hot glue down at the bottom. I did pick my burlap up at the Dollar Tree. Several years ago, I found these really large rolls of burlap, and now I've never seen them again. So let me know if you've ever found these really big rolls of burlap at your Dollar Tree. But we're going to use some buffalo check ribbon, and we're going to cover just go around the front in the middle of our burlap. Mine came from Hobby Lobby. You can get buffalo check ribbon at the Dollar Tree. Mine always seems to be sold out. Just a quick tip here though, if you find these ribbons at Hobby Lobby like on a holiday, you can often pick them up on the clearance or definitely at the sale price. I tend to buy these neutral ribbons at Christmas time because they're a super good deal there. I made a shabby bow. I didn't decide to show it here today. Sometimes I show it, sometimes I don't, but if you followed me for a while, you definitely know how I made it. And if not, it's just a bunch of ribbons, and I did add jeans because I love to craft with jeans, and I almost try to throw jeans into like everything that I make. I'm going to go ahead and add my favorite Dollar Tree greenery to the pocket part of this, and then that is it for this project. It's so cute. I absolutely love this one. Let me know what you guys think about it.
Now's the time to reap what I've sown. Your words echoing in every single bone. Underwater, so far out at sea.
For hanging out with me today. If you want to keep on watching videos with me, check out this video next. And as always, wherever you are in your journey is a perfect place to start. And I will see you in my next video. Bye, friends!